The superstars of Fan Control Football Season 2.0 are not only the who's who of celebrity team owners and influencers, not the 21 million live views of our Emmy-nominated broadcast. Across Twitch, DAZN, Fubo, NBCLX, Peacock. Or our highlights that scored over 100 million views. And we can't forget best-in-class sponsors. But the biggest star of Season 2 is our play calling app that allow fans to control the action on the field. Fans pick a team, pick a play, 4 run plays, 4 pass plays to choose from. The play with the most votes is called in real time.
We got it.
This is where video games and live action come to life. And now, Fan Control Sports and Entertainment brings you Fan Controlled Hoops, where fans call the shots. Coming 2023, the future of sports is here, and it's Fan Control. Power to the fans.
Are you ready for it?
This is FCTV, fan-controlled television. Programs created and produced for the fans, by the fans of fan-controlled sports and entertainment. As always, power to the fans. And now, it's time for the show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Info Arcade. It is Tuesday, February 21st, and we've got a really fun show for you tonight. With me are my incredible co-hosts, Kyle the Realm Stathead, returning, and also AJ King Ka, the legends themselves.
that's so me.
Yeah, we got AJ. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, you live here. Let's be honest. Everybody knows King Ka.
What? I live on the multiverse.
You live on the network. You are like
live in the metaverse, I guess. Sorry, I've been watching too many comics.
I was gonna say you live on the FCF matrix.
Yeah.
Yo, guys, how are we doing? It is man, it's been a crazy week. It's been insane.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I just
making
realized
baked ziti. That's how crazy it is.
We had an all-star weekend.
Yeah, we had an all-star weekend, and I just realized I didn't even put that on the docket today, but we're gonna have to talk about it at some point.
Listen, a guy named Mac won the dunk contest.
Dude,
let's talk about it now. Yeah,
Mac, the Mac
McClung.
Tech.
McClung.
McClung the lung coming in from behind. Genuinely, I think it's ridiculous that he was a G League player and Philadelphia's like,
Facts.
bring him up.
Yeah.
Just for the dunk contest.
Here's the thing. Do you think he stays up?
No.
You think he goes back down?
I genuinely think he goes back down. I think it's gonna make Philly look like a bad organization. And I'm here for it. They weren't expecting him to do well. They thought he was gonna be like a quiet little like growl.
It just occurred to me.
And he just won.
Philly won something.
They did.
They won the dunk contest.
There you go. Way to go, Philly.
Good job. Hey, shout out to Josh McCouga for calling it on Instagram.
He did.
That Mac was going to win the dunk contest. Like, the man. So.
Josh McClunga. I hate that. I really hate that. I don't, there's nothing. But I will say this about Mac McClung. St. Patty's Day right on the corner. Good to see a fellow Irishman win it. Win it. You know, who says white man can't jump? That guy did a 450 in the air and then dunked it.
I went on Twitter almost instantaneously after the dunk contest, and that was what was trending, was white men can jump.
There was
on Twitter.
I don't know. It was the New York Knicks guy who dunked it. And it was like the worst dunk of the night. He just dunked.
Sims.
Yeah, he dunked it, pulled out a paper that said 50, and he didn't even open the paper. Right?
Yeah, he didn't open the
He
paper
ripped
well.
it. I
Yeah.
was like, dude.
Anyway,
I mean, at least we
That
had
was
a
the
good
most
dunk
Nick
contest.
dunk I've ever seen.
it was insane. We're gonna talk more about the All-Star game. We're gonna talk about more about things happening around the NBA. We're gonna talk about XFL. We're gonna talk about entertainment news, all right here on the Info Arcade, where we have a live show each and every Tuesday right here as a part of FCTV. You can tune into the action live each and every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. And you can drop comments, interact with us, just like Top Gun Sports, BC Lion, Draft Day FCF, Josh Bakuga, it's Jay Spacely. All you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Peanut, good to see you again, as always. We always have a really good crowd here in the chat. But if you are not going to tune in live, feel free to tune in on podcast services all around the globe, wherever you get your podcasts to listen in. We also have content all week long, starting up with this show on Tuesday. We got a show on Wednesday. It is the incredible show with our co-host here, King Ka, on Don't Cause a Ruckus. Stathead has a great podcast called Freddie Set Go with the one and only Freddie Airmail. You guys can listen to that. And we've got the Fan Control show on Thursday. So we've got a packed week that you guys can tune in for awesome sports and entertainment content each and every week. So make sure you guys tune in. But we're going to go ahead and get started with this show. We got a lot to dive in. So let's go ahead and kick it up with First Up.
Let's go.
And let's go with
The
our
order.
first topic. Peanut says, if you don't have Daytona 500 as a topic, what are we doing?
Peanut,
Oops.
let me give you a little thing. Looks like they
Daytona.
looks like they're coming out of the gates and they're gonna make a left turn and they're going fast and they make a left turn and they keep going and going and going and left turn it again. Wait, left turn.
Hey,
Don't
let's
forget about
be
the
nice.
crash on lap 238.
Sometimes they go right, and that's usually the ones that crash.
I will give Peanut this. I'm excited to see them do, like, he talks about them doing NASCAR in Chicago. I thought that it was just left turns again. No, they're going through the city, which seems kind of
They're
cool.
doing a street race.
Yeah.
NASCAR's been doing
That's
a
been cool.
few street races throughout the year, and those are probably my favorites to watch
Oh
because
God,
The
Very
F1 in Vegas on the strip, though.
dude,
That's
it's gonna be sick. Is it not gonna be insane? Man, I can talk about F1 for sure. And
Nope.
so Peanut, we're not talking about Daytona 500, but if you guys want to talk to us about Daytona 500 at the end, we'll leave some room for comments and dialogue. We'd love to
get
hear
up
your thoughts
info.
on all that stuff. Or you can tweet at us and I can try to pretend like I know what I'm talking about, which is probably nothing at all when it comes to NASCAR. Guys, the XFL kicked off this weekend. We talked about this last week on the show, the anticipation around the XFL and just everything that was coming up with it on Saturday and Sunday. We got to see some former FCF ballers ball out in their new uniforms and their new logos, new teams, including Andrew Jamiel, who, by the way, had a heck of a week with the Orlando Guardians. And we're going to talk a little bit more about each of these individual games. But real quick, guys, like, what were your overall thoughts on kickoff week for the XFL? Do you guys have any initial thoughts, like, after checking it out?
Several.
Okay, go for it.
DeAndre Francois not starting. I get it. You know, probably something up there. I didn't see that until after the game. Paxton Lynch starting, and I'm not gonna forgive I love the Guardians. They're gonna win the championship. They should have kept Mitch Kidd because Paxton Lynch does what Paxton Lynch was always gonna do and absolutely blow chunks. Shout out to the backup whose name completely forgot. It's not Mitch Kidd. It should have been Mitch Kidd. I don't
Mitch
care.
would have done a
Mitch
far
Kidd's-
better job.
Mitch Kidd's like what, 5'9"? I don't care. All right, he doesn't need to be 6'6".
He can ball out.
He can throw the football.
Yeah,
that's your job.
Absolutely. He can
Bryce
ball out for
Allen
sure.
was down. That that wasn't fun. I really wanted to see Bryce and Aline do some things. But Arlington got the W. Shout out to my great uncle. Way to go. Way to coach up the
Renegades.
linebackers. Go Renegades. They're my number 2. They're not going to win the championship because they're not the Guardians.
True.
Wait, is your uncle really a coach for the Renegades?
Yeah, he's a linebacker coach.
That's
Bill
awesome.
Sheridan.
Awesome.
My great uncle won a Super Bowl
That's killer.
The 2007 Super Bowl against the Patriots.
All right,
Against your Patriots? That's great.
Yeah, I've never seen the ring. It was there.
I was
It
gonna
was
say,
in the same room as me.
You probably
I
never
refuse
saw him
look
come
at
to
it.
Thanksgiving after that either, because the family just excommunicated him for destroying the
No,
Jets.
he knows what he did. And he also, listen, I love him. He's a great guy. He's very sweet. And go Renegades. You got a good one. You got a Sheridan. And that's what's important.
Let's dude, I'm gonna go through all these scores. I gotta say, I watched both the Saturday games. I tuned in kind of on and off throughout the Sunday games because they had such slow starts. The Sunday games were like the first halves were terrible, but then the second halves was like some incredible, highly competitive football. I talked to my dad about it, and he was like, he grew up as a big NFL fan, so him watching spring football is kind of new. And he's like, dude, did you watch the XFL this weekend? Like, he brought it up to me. I was like, yeah, I tuned in. And he goes, dude, it was awesome. And he was like so lit up about it. And I was like, well, man, like if you like this, like you gotta tune in to FCF a little bit more, because I feel like that competitive nature that the XFL has and the FCF has, like the thing that he pointed out to me was in the XFL, it seems like those guys go hard every single play. And I would argue the same thing about the FCF, because all of these guys have something to prove. And that is that they want to be on the NFL roster, that they deserve a spot. And so these guys are going out every single play, playing their heart out. There's nothing like it. And that's why spring football is just so awesome. But we're actually going to dive into some of these score lines from the XFL. I honestly, like, none of us really knew what to expect. Like, when we tune in, it's a whole new season, brand new teams, first year back for the XFL under new ownership. Let's start off with the first game of the week. You were just bringing it up. Arlington, they were taking on the Vegas Vipers. Arlington seems to go back and forth with Vegas on and off throughout that game, but ultimately Arlington pulls away. Anything that stands out to you about either of these teams? Did you see anything that like grabbed your attention that you weren't expecting, or anything that you want to watch out for with the Arlington or Vegas team here?
I mean, there's a couple things. One, Louis Perez does what Louis Perez is going to do. Threw 3 touchdowns, also threw 2 picks, which, you know what? Yeah. But Louis Perez, if he gets those picks under control, keep an eye on him. You know what would have really helped the Vipers win? Scary Cherry. Scary Cherry.
Dude, true. Get Cecil Cherry up there, man. He can play some solid defense for Vegas. He could.
I mean, one thing I noticed from this game is we saw a rule all of us should be familiar with, and which is the 4th and 15 onside throw. You know, I'm not saying we did it first, but we hey,
hashtag did it first.
Hashtag did it first. I just, of both of these teams, I think Louis Perez played better. I think Drew played did okay.
Freddie Airmail, we didn't do it first. AAF.
Yeah,
we don't talk about those
AAF
guys.
is dead. Let it die.
What's that thing? What's that?
Automatic arena football?
Automatic arena football sounds amazing, actually.
AI arena football.
I mean,
integrated with AI.
You gotta look at Arlington's defense, because that's really everything that happened. Arlington's defense got both of its touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't ask for more from a defense. Now it's just you looking at the offensive side of Arlington and going, what's happening?
Yeah, and I can tell you that the Arlington needs to make some moves on offense to strengthen the roster, both at the quarterback position, at the receiver position. It just seemed like there were a lot of drop passes, a lot of bad passes from their team, and they couldn't ever really progress. They were, they were able to progress sometimes and get a couple first downs, but then they get shut out. You know what I'm saying? And so, if what's the point of having offense if you can't get in the end zone with it? Like, literally, one of the best ways to play defense is just run up the score. Like, that's it. You want to win a game? You have to score. Luckily, the Renegades defense was able to do that for them. They were able to secure the win on their end. But that's just my take on that. I was more interested in the second game on Saturday with the Guardians, just because I was hoping to see Francois. found out he was inactive, found out they're going a completely different direction, and it bit them in the butt. It was not good at all. But man, you want to know who looks solid?
I already know the answer to this.
Houston looks like a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, I didn't know the answer to this. I was in fact wrong. I thought you were going to say Andrew Jamiel.
Oh, Andrew Jamiel too. Like, don't get me wrong, but the Roughnecks, man, they were firing on all cylinders on offense.
Oh yeah,
Deep passes galore. They're playing great defense. They were shutting out the Guardians.
I don't want to dunk on a man because we did watch him get split in two, but Brandon Silvers did exactly what I thought Brandon Silvers was going to do. He made exactly little over half of his throws and made a perfect 2-2 TD INT ratio. He was incredibly mid, and the only thing that they had to do was not mess up, and they didn't because the Guardians couldn't do anything because Paxton Lynch is a joke.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's a fine human being. A lot of people that play football are fine human beings and not good at football. Paxton Lynch, not good at football. There's a graphic going around, and we'll say it for here. He was benched across 4 different leagues. All right. Yeah. After the third one, you'd think maybe he's not good, but no, he's like 6 foot whatever. So he's got to be good at football.
Right. Yeah, and I think it too is like, oh well, he was an NFL draftee. Like he's got a little bit of NFL experience under his belt. But at the end of the day, like I don't know. Like if he plays like that, there's a reason he's not in the NFL. Like that was my whole take. And the entire time I'm just like, Mitch Kidd could do better than this.
Mitch Kidd could.
Mitch Kidd could do way better than this. He
Ed
could.
Crouch could do better.
Dude, for sure. Hey, dude, I would love to see Ed Crouch in the XFL too. There's so many good FCF QBs, man. Jack Patrick tuning in over on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, Jack. He said Paxton Lynch was definitely horrible. Francois so much better. They need to start him. Middle of the broadcast, they did say that Francois is starting next week, that they were holding him back, giving him an inactive week. He is supposed to start in Orlando. Now, whether that happens or not, I mean, coaches could change that all the time, but I do hope that actually turns out to be true. Thanks for the comment, Jack. Appreciate it. But Wade Phillips, dude, coaching for Houston, didn't blink it, like literally, like coming back, NFL legend, dude has not lost his touch. I mean, it's been how many years since he's coached? But that man, he's still coaching up a fiery team in Houston. He's trying to prove that he still has it. Do you think that a guy like him maybe starts coaching in the NFL again one day after, coaching like this in the XFL? Or do you think he just does this because he's like, I got nothing better to do. I've been retired, so let's do this. What do you think it is?
I mean, I think it's more the retired and bored.
Yeah.
Just, having hung out with my fiance's like retired dad and needing help building like he's a retired architect and we're trying to remodel a house. Yeah. And he was like, well, I can help you. And not only did he help us, he gave us 16 different versions of the plan. The dude loved what he did for a while. And I think he was just like, retirement's fun, but I've been doing this for a while. It's just, I can read so many books and watch so many movies and go on so many hikes. Sometimes, and I feel like that's what's happening here. I feel like coach just wants to come back. He doesn't want to go to the NFL. He doesn't need that pressure. But if you go to the XFL and win a couple of rings, why not? Let's just add to his trophy case, I
mean, may as well.
Dude's got a Super Bowl ring already. I mean, if he does go back to the NFL, it's going to be like either a senior advisor or a coordinator position. Like we already know he's a hell of a defensive coordinator. We already know like that 2015 Broncos, that was him.
Yeah.
And the Rams when they played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, that was also him. They lost, but that still was a dominant defense. Like he has nothing more to prove other than just having some fun over in the XFL. Like, why not? There are other coaches here that are genuinely trying to probably establish themselves, but him, nah, he's good.
He doesn't need any more.
Dare I say Hall of Fame? I think so.
Oh yeah,
one of the best coordinators / coaches we've seen.
Yeah, for sure. Our boy Andrew Jamiel, by the way, we were about to talk about him a second ago. Still the GOAT of receivers in spring football for sure. That man had 4 incredible receptions, 1 amazing touchdown, like deep pass
80
catch.
yards.
It
80
was
yards.
awesome. I was like yelling at the TV. It was like, let's freaking go. Like, because like, a guy like Andrew Jamiel deserves a shot. And honestly, all these teams in the NFL that haven't taken a shot on him, that have had him try out and stuff like that, like, dude, I watch it each and every week in the FCF, and I watch it right here in the XFL, and I'm like, you guys are literally missing out on one of the best diamond in the rough wide receivers. Doesn't matter his size. The dude is fast.
All I'm gonna say,
he can catch the ball. Like, that's all it comes down to.
This is my pitch, because you know NFL teams watch this show.
Oh,
Listen,
yeah, all of them.
Bring the kid from Boston home. All right, New England. He's right there. He's in your backyard.
I heard he's like a lot like Wes Welker.
You bring him home to us. We had Wes Welker. We had Edelman. You bring AJ back home. You put him in the red, white, and blue. You give him the 18. Well, not the 18. Slater's here, so we got to let him have it. Give him a number. Doesn't matter. He's gonna catch the ball. He's gonna do real good. All right. Give me Jamiel.
I like how we started talking about New England and the accent just overtakes Stathead. Like,
I mean, like, come on, what are we doing here?
Man. Okay, so the next game we had was St. Louis's Battlehawks taking on the San Antonio Brahmas, aka San Antonio the Rocks.
The Rocks, yep.
The Rocks.
Yeah, it's just Dwayne the Johnson Rocks or whatever.
Dwayne the Rock Johnsons. Yep.
Rock the Dwayne Johnson.
Rock the Dwayne Johnsons. There you go. Which, by the way, he was at like a majority of the games. He was at a majority of the games.
He's at all the games.
Super cool. That's amazing.
He's at every single game. Well, because the way they did it, though, it was pretty smart. Texas, DC.
Yeah.
So it was pretty easy for him to get to all of them.
Yeah, I think that was pretty cool that he did that, and it's a great showing out. They did announce that San Antonio is actually going to be the host site for the XFL inaugural championship game, which is super cool. The Alamo Dome is a great location for a game like that. It's they've got a great fan base in San Antonio, and they showed that this game was highly competitive. Both sides of the ball kept going back and forth, but ultimately the Battlehawks take the late lead, get the dub over San Antonio away in San Antonio, and I definitely think that was a big upset there. Brahmas should have won that game. Honestly, they kind of let it slip through their fingers. But man, the Battlehawks seem like they could be a really solid team. Like, if they could continue to like tighten up some things, like they could definitely be contenders for an XFL championship.
Shout out to a stud from the Dragons in season 1 of the XFL to now, Austin Prohl. Love that kid. He's I mean, you want to talk about Jamiel? He's cut from the same cloth as the Walker Edelman type. His dad was, I believe, is the wide receivers coach for that. So, that lit a fire. But the thing about St. Louis that you got to understand is the fan base there is die hard.
Yeah.
I hope we get a game in St. Louis because they love their Battlehawks. They're like DC. Like, DC loves their defenders. St. Louis loves their Battlehawks. They go hard. They get loud. It is like, I couldn't think of a better place to play in the XFL aside from Orlando and Arlington, obviously, than St. Louis, because you're just getting fans that buy 100% into what you're doing. And that's that's what you want, because it amps you up more.
DC fans were going off as well. Like, DC was going off against whenever they played the Sea Dragons. Seattle Sea Dragons showed up, and former FCF player, former NFL baller Josh Gordon catches an incredible DD on a pitch shovel pass for 6 yards. But it was really clean. And so, man, like, I think that's one of the things I'm learning about this league. Is that, again, it's highly competitive. It could go any way. It just comes down to who's going to ball out the hardest that day, who's got something to prove, who's got a chip on their shoulder and ready to use it to win. That's what it comes down to. So I'm excited. This week we've got Seattle taking on St. Louis. We've got DC taking on Vegas. San Antonio taking on Orlando. I'm ready for that game, and that's actually going to be in Orlando. So that would hopefully lead to a win with Francois at the helm, back in Florida at home, ready to take home a dub. That would be really cool. And then Arlington taking on Houston. Got those Texas rivals right there. Both 1-0, trying to be the Kings of Texas at the beginning of this season. Let's see how they pull it off. But I'm excited, man. It's turning out to be cool. One of the things I want to talk about, though, with the XFL before we move on to our other topics is, as fans of the FCF, we love to create our own ideas, create our own plays, brands, concepts. We love to innovate. The entire game of football has just been completely rejuvenated in a way that is fan-centric, and it's so exciting. But some of the things that XFL are doing is really cool as well for broadcast purposes. And so I would love to kind of pick your brain. Is there anything that you notice the XFL does that the FCF could kind of tweak, do and tweak to make it their own, or that they should just totally adopt 100%, bringing in the FCF?
So I'm going to two things. I'm going to give a criticism of the XFL, and then
Sure.
I'm going to tell the FCF what they need to bring in. So criticism. The quarterbacks aren't great.
No,
That's my hope.
No.
The horrible quarterbacks, guys.
Except for Francois.
But we haven't seen him play. So that's the
Exactly.
issue. And that's why I feel confident saying once Francois comes out and plays, if he doesn't get the starting position, I'll be shocked. I think he's probably going to be hands down the best quarterback in the league. That's why it upsets me that Mitch Kidd didn't get a chance. Genuinely think that Francois is going to run the course on all these other teams just because of the competitiveness we saw in him. The fact that he can scramble, I feel like that's going to be helpful, especially with the Guardians. These defenses are coming in hard. Yeah, but some of these defenses are coming in hard. The Vipers defense is scary. Vic Beasley on that squad too. Woof.
I feel like the FCF quarterback or the arena quarterback is perfect for XFL play with these weaker offensive lines and these strong defenses.
Gotta get the ball out faster.
You have to have a quick release, which is totally arena football centric. And then in addition to the quick release, the quick read, you also have to be able to scramble in those tight situations. That is literally the definition of DeAndre Francois. So I'm excited to see him play because he's got those two elements down.
He's going to be the next. I'm calling it now, future MVP of the XFL.
Oh, okay. Put a money line on that.
Well, because quarterbacks usually get it. To me, he's like head and shoulders above everybody. Get him a head and shoulders contract. Two. Now, this is the thing. What they need to bring over and take from the XFL, the package, literally the promotional packages that they use. Man, does The Rock know how to get you hyped up? Especially before a game. That in and of itself, just setting everything up. And I'm going to be real. The in-betweens, they do a great job as soon as they go to commercial, XFL merch. Buy it at XFL.com. Do you want a hoodie? Do you want to support your teams? XFL.
Yes,
we need that for the FCF. Okay.
Yeah,
instead of these pause over where it's just that one static cam in the far corner where we're just looking at the whole field while everything's off. That's great. Love it. Bring some guys in. Have them go do a commercial. Be like, you want FCF merch? Well, come on down to FCF.io where you can get Donkey Kong Ape merch. Yes. Do you want to look like Donkey Kong but not take that copyright infringement suit? Here we go. Come on.
Want to look like Donkey Kong but not get sued?
I mean, as a plus size male model, I can tell you that I could totally rock some FCF gear in a fashion catalog. I would look great. It's true.
Imagine how cool it would be to have I don't know, we have the obvious, the pocket aces and the apes. We have a couple night people. We bring fans from almost every team, not McTunafish from the Zappers, right? Have them posted up in front with a crew of people behind them wearing FCF merch and be like, I represent my squad.
That's right.
Throw that after every game pause. People are going to want to buy it, especially if not McTunafish is wearing.
Those post Super Bowl the Kansas City Chiefs are national champions. Like,
Yeah.
where they're showing all the merch, do stuff like that for FCF.
Yeah.
Be
Exactly.
like, show your pride, wear your team. That I agree. That'd be dope.
So my one comment about the quarterback play is like listen, not all of them are bad, but like most of them. I'm gonna defend Louis Perez and Jordan Ta'amu a little bit, just a little bit, and I want to see more of Derek King. But aside from like those three and Francois, yeah, vast majority of them are. In terms of what the FCF can incorporate from the XFL, we need a thing. We need a thing. Like the XFL's got the beer snake, and the beer snake that ungas every football fan's bunga. All right, that gets them going. You saw what happened when they
Turnover
took it
chain,
away.
baby.
The turnover chain was too team oriented. We need a league-wide thing.
That's not a league-wide thing. That's a DC Defenders thing, dude.
Oh, that's a league-wide thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Dude, not for the it's used in multiple leagues, but not in the XFL. That's the only team that does it.
Well, that's only listen, that is not
See, even Freddie Airmail's he's your partner and he's saying I'm right.
First of all, don't go around saying that Freddie's my partner.
Well, okay, you know what I mean. In the podcast
he's
partner.
your co-host.
Sorry, he's your co-host. Okay,
That's right. Okay.
I apologize. You're 100% right. He's your co-host. There it is. That's the right amount of anger with the right tone.
The other thing I think, and we dabbled with this. I would love to see it. I think every team needs its own beer snake or turnover chain. I just think that's what they need. I think that, y'all got creative with the apes. I've seen other teams do the beer snake in the OG season, but I could be wrong, and I'll take the L on that right now. But every team needs its thing, and not enough teams have a thing that they can get behind. Where's the Glacier Boy thing? Where's the Beast thing? Where's the Zappers thing? Like, where's everyone's thing? Like, the Knights tried with the Shield.
They didn't do a good job taking care of it.
Work. Like,
they didn't do a good job taking care of it.
Get your
Was it in
thing.
your hotel room for like months and months? Like you found it one day and you had to give it back to their team. Like it was like, guys, come on.
I
can't leave this laying around.
Listen,
I remember giving it to Peanut, and then Peanut gave it back to me. But I think someone else took it who was like he worked in the FCF and he was a Knights fan. And then I saw it just left on the corner in the back of what's it called? Pullman Yards. There it is. In the corner of Pullman Yards. And I was like, this isn't good. And then this is the best part. This is a story that I'm 100% sure Knight fans don't know. I did return the shield. Okay. I left it at the front desk of our hotel for someone to come pick it up. It was TGP's shield. His friend was supposed to come pick it up. Every time his friend came, I was either really busy working because it was the last few days of FCF, or when I left it there for like 2-3 days for him to pick up, and he didn't come. So I'm like 99% sure it's
the shield is still there.
No. I think it's actually was thrown in a dumpster. Like, no joke. I know we played like fun with it.
TGP worked so hard on that thing.
He really did.
TGP for being so awesome.
I called him several times to get it. He seemed okay with it once I told him what happened.
Yeah.
So
much like the night season, it was found in the dumpster.
Oh,
Aoki fan over there. Shots fired.
Shots fired.
So one of the things I would love to see the FCF do after those big hard-hitting plays, the player interviews on the sideline were pretty cool. Being able to go over to the player and be like, hey, what was going through your head when you caught that pass? Like, I would love to see the FCF players doing that. It gives FCF players more of a personality. And after all, that's kind of the thing that Makuga and a lot of the commission, all those guys, like, they're basically saying, like, you guys have to create personalities for yourselves because this league is just as much about sports as it is entertainment, and you are the personalities. You are the celebrities. You have to go out and make a name for yourself. What better way to do it? Put the mic in front of some guys to like get on there and be like, dude, like we just totally wrecked those guys. They were like, we saw a pocket, we made it happen, we got open, we caught the pass, whatever, and like kind of talk through that. Being able to give shout out to the fans. Hey, that was a great play call, guys. Thank you so much. Like, shout out to the fans who called that play because we knew that was the exact kind of play we needed in that moment. This is what we thought going in when we were told that was the play. That would be awesome. to be able to hear that.
I don't want to, blow too much smoke of Mitch Kidd's behind, but my favorite thing from season 2 was Mitch Kidd literally pulling the mic up closer to his mouth and going, "Fans, if you can hear me, call this play, call a run play right now."
Yeah,
and then they did, and it worked.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, that's so much fun, especially when they're mic'd up, and it's just like, I want, give me more players.
The mic'd up players in the XFL has been pretty cool so far. Mic'd up coaches, personnel, that's cool. I would love to see that.
All right, I have an idea here.
Okay.
So we have the Wendy's hot mic booth, right?
Ooh, okay.
Let's do the progressive player pod. All right. And what this is same thing as the hot mic booth, but in 2 of the corners of the end zone. And it has a tablet with all the fans directly on there, just talking to them. And they can either run up, go talk to the fans and answer questions directly there, or like Mitch Kidd did, run up, go, "Fans, I need a run play," and then run back.
Yeah, that's sick. I love that.
That'd be so much fun. It would be chaotic too, because you're gonna get 5 of the defensive players going, "Hey, run it right at your face," and you're just like, "I guess we're gonna run it."
Yeah.
But see, that's the key. It's got to be in their own corner, because then you can't have the defense of the other team going, run it. You know,
of the Beasts saying to the Beasts fan, "Call the run play for the Beasts." That's gonna be hectic. Because
Freddie Amermel says
they're all just the defenders sitting and trying to call offensive plays.
Freddie Amermel says, "Player Mike, sponsored by Anytizers. Anytime, any place, every word."
Every word.
It's great. The last thing I will say is obviously there has to be some kind of improvement on what we're gonna do about fan reviews and play reviews in the FCF. There was a lot of controversial moments all throughout season 2. Even in some of the high stakes games, there were some moments that came down to fan reviews or lack thereof. We won't get too far into it, AJ. Okay.
Me and Stat we've had many even one today. All right, so this is another conversation for another time.
Yeah. But what I want to say is one of the things I loved about XFL is they put mics in the review booth.
Yeah.
I know fans are making the decision, but when they're watching those reviews back and they are talking about it, "Oh yeah, we see the ball hitting the ground here. That's definitely a no call. We're going to watch it from this angle. We're going to make sure, but it looks like that's going to be an incomplete pass." That is what I want to see in the FCF. Give fans a less objective view of those plays and let there be a better way to call fan reviews, because I feel like that's much needed in the FCF. There are a lot of times where players and some other fans "Man, this is a joke," because obviously that was a drop pass, or obviously that wasn't a touchdown, that was a yard short, or whatever it was, right? And then it was given to them because of a fan vote. And as much as I love hype catches and top 10 ESPN worthy plays, I also want integrity of the game.
Oh yeah,
just as much. So
I was really nervous you were going to say you wanted fans mic'd up when they're making that call, because I think we're going to get a lot of
no.
I don't know what happened, but I don't like this effort. So
mic up the review booth, or mic it, rearrange the way that
I don't think there is a review booth. I think we need a. So this is my next. These are my next 2 ideas that need to happen. All right, Josh, I need you guys getting pen and paper out. You can thank me. Just bump up my ownership costs in the apes. It's fine. You can take my ideas. All right. Idea number 2. All right. We got the fan review booth, but it's only run by one fan, and that one fan is Freddie Amermel. Why? Because the man is the most unbiased.
Actually, yes.
He's the most
just Freddie Amermel.
Just Eddie Frere. Freddie Amermel. My dyslexia came in hard right there. But with hundreds of screens, all touchscreen, he can do whatever he wants. And then Jim. Why Jim? Just because Jim has to sit and help him find what he's looking for.
Yeah.
And then those 2 in the booth going, "All right, we got to mic him up because I love Jim. He's hilarious. I think he needs his own show. But him and Freddie's interactions would be amazing. Just Eddie Fairmount. Yeah, you're seeing my
Hey,
dyslexia
wait.
live.
You're gonna have to get that man some bodyguards in case he makes a call that some of those fans don't like, because that man needs protection.
I will. First of all, if anyone
Protect Freddie Airmail at all costs.
no, hold up. If anyone comes after Eddie Fairmail,
Eddie Fairmount.
I'm gonna be upset because Freddie is like one of the most genuine, nice people.
Oh, he's amazing.
He just like football a whole lot, and as someone
He's
that likes
so
football
unbiased,
a whole
too.
lot, like yeah, they root for the Apes, but like they are clearly unbiased. And I genuinely think this is a good idea. I couldn't do it because I would root for chaos.
Oh yeah, dude. No, you're not allowed. You're only the deferral.
I will say,
You're like the guy that's like, all right, you're the sounding board, but you're like, but don't listen to me. Chaos.
My best preseason season 2 decision ever, and I will hands down say this, was extending an invitation to Freddie Airmail to be.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, yes,
he's the man. He's the man.
He came in with, and this is something that a lot of people don't know. Bored Apes were letting it out. He came in with stats. He came in with graphs. The man is like the best FCS scout.
Excel sheets
on
great. Every quarterback in the
It's amazing.
League. Like
made my job easy.
USFL, the man is a brain. He is plugged into the matrix that is stats of sports. He's the man. Anyway.
Now, AJ idea number 3. All right. And this comes down to
this is the last one.
This is the last one. All right. But this comes down to when fans get upset over things that happen and they want to blame owners or the FCF, but everybody knows it's the fans' fault. And this is going to fall on my head because I'm already one. I think every team needs a fan ambassador. Why? Because when the trades happen, you need somebody to take that fall. Yeah. Now, I do it for the Apes. I'm cool with it. I love it. But imagine if, like, you know, the Beast trade, Night trade, and all that went down, and you had 3 fan representatives there, and it's just like, all right, we can't take this. Yeah, we're gonna. It's just, okay, well, you go back to the fans, you get 3 people you can talk to and be like, all right, guys, this is the sounding board.
I know one person who probably loves that idea already, and his name rhymes with Bosch Nakuga. It's Josh Makuga.
Yeah.
Hey, lest we forget, that man was just bombarded with questions and
so many questions,
and then doubled down on how great of a trade it clearly wasn't.
Yeah. Like I Josh, good on you, man. You tried your dangest, but when you tried to explain how good that trade was, both me and Kyle were on the sideline going,
it didn't work.
No.
We need to just create a segment of this show called the idea room, where we just like throw out all of our ideas, no matter how good or bad they are. Just like, the FCF should do this. Let's talk about it.
Big ball, small ball.
All right, hear me out. Last one. All right.
No.
Hard knocks.
Play the sports bumper. Play the sports bumper.
We have so much to talk about. Okay. I don't even have time for the sports bumper. Sorry. Like,
we gotta keep going.
We'll go fast on the next one.
Stinky the gutter cat is gonna have to chill. Okay, he's gonna have to just miss out on this one. All right. We're going to NBA real quick. We're going to rapid fire through this. Russ is going back to LA. He gets bought out by Utah, and the man is making money. He gets bought out, contract bought out, and now the rumor has it that he is finalizing a deal to sign with the Clippers. That means that Russ and PG are going to be teammates again. Only this time, they've had a big 3 now.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You don't think it's going to matter?
No. I'm going to be real and honest with you guys. The Clippers aren't going to do well. Why? Because Russell Westbrook is a cancer to a lot of teams. He's past his prime, and he is not going to do well. It doesn't matter that Kawhi's over there.
Russ and PG are they are a power couple.
It's not going to happen. I promise you it's not going to work.
So well together in Oklahoma City. I'm scared to see what they're going to do.
How many years ago was that? Exactly.
3 years ago. It doesn't matter. Like, I still think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to be
incredible. Genuine question. When was the last time the Clippers were good?
Next question.
When Kawhi Leonard was healthy? When was the last time Kawhi Leonard was healthy? Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, but rest of the Clips. I mean, hey, he got to stay in LA. He got what he wanted, and he gets way more money. Like, dude, if there's anyone who has like balled out this year in terms of money, it's Russell Westbrook, because
Oh,
not
yeah.
only did he get bought out of this incredible multi-million-dollar contract, he just signed another one, so he's doubling up on the money.
It's like Josh Smith when he left the Pistons.
He doesn't even have to
Pistons were
sell his
playing
house.
him.
He's staying in LA. Like,
Yeah.
come on. It's
Hey,
That's
crazy.
great. Good for him.
Why win championships when you can make bank?
I mean, yeah. What's the Westbrook? Says Freddie.
Freddie is on top of my dyslexia today, and it is showing bad.
Eddie Fairmail. I think
Fairmail is.
I think Freddie gets a couple jabs at you.
He does. Yeah, he does.
We got some ideas too in the chat for the previous ambassador conversation. Peanut says, I volunteer for the Knights. Spacely says, make Frosty the GBZ ambassador. Oh yeah, I mean, I could totally see that. That'd be cool.
I mean,
that'd be dope.
he's
Frosty's
a good
the man.
candidate. Yeah, I like Frosty. He's a good candidate.
Let's just hope that Frosty stays Frosty, if you know what I mean.
Frosty.
Because he
Well,
might. Don't let that man slip through your fingers, because he could be at any team he wanted to be honest.
I've heard some rumors.
Me too. I
that
know
he may be the next ambassador. So
but it won't be for.
It'll make a lot of people angry.
It'll be different. It's a rumor. It's just
a rumor. It's not like we know anything.
Find out in FCF 3.0. Okay, moving on.
Find out next season.
The Hawks in a watch bomb today announced that they have terminated Nate McMillan as coach. They decided they're parting ways. AJ probably had some thoughts on this as the biggest Hawks fan on the show. Probably ever, actually, just in general, because
good.
2 pairs of shorts. Let's not forget.
The exact same, and everyone thought I was just being gross. No, I had 2 pairs of the exact same shorts, ladies and gentlemen.
I ain't forgot.
I literally showed that on air. Is this a good thing? Yes. Why? Because Nate McMillan is not a good coach. He hasn't been for a long, long time. The man ruined the Pacers, and he almost did it with the Hawks. You got to look at the facts, guys. Like, Trae Young is arguably one of the best players. He's one of the top, 10 players, scoring leaders right now in the NBA. He's averaging a double-double with assists. He is a great player. He's surrounded by a lot of young talent, especially in DeJounte Murray, John Collins, Dre Hunter. The fact that they lost Kevin Huerter, but also replaced him for DeJounte Murray is great. Now, the fact that Nate McMillan cannot utilize this squad to their full potential, especially after they had just gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals when he first took over, the thing that people need to realize and consider is when they went to the Eastern Conference playoffs, they weren't playing under Nate McMillan's hierarchy. The man took over mid-season, so he was playing with Lloyd Pierce's old playbook. So the playbook was good, the coach was bad. Now, we have a decent coach with a bad playbook, same results. Now, potentially worse, actually. So to me, it's a matter of time. The fact that they're going after Quinn Snyder, who is, in my opinion, one of the best coaches that isn't a head coach right now, is great. I think he has the potential to be the coach that Trae Young can listen to, respect, and can get the full potential out of all these guys. I still think that the Hawks are going to do well this season. I think that this is the time for Trae Young to do what Trae Young does. Last time he didn't get into the playoffs in the All-Star, in the All-Star game, wasn't voted in. The man went to the Eastern Conference Finals. That may not be true. He didn't go in last year, now that I think about it. But he's got a chip on his shoulder right now, especially for the fact that every single player in his conference voted him dead last as best point guard of all the teams. Now, Gilbert Arenas went on record to say, we need to drug test all these players that voted Trae Young 12. The man is averaging a double-double. He is almost one of the top scoring leaders in the league in a team that isn't doing well under a coach's regime that isn't utilizing his players' best, abilities. So to me, this is great. Get Quinn Snyder in there ASAP and let's go win a championship. I'm so excited for this. I think this is a great thing for the Hawks and Trae Young. I still think Trae Young is going to be, he's going to be known as the Reggie Miller of this Reggie Miller, Steph Curry, Trae Young, next generation.
Yeah, honestly, I'm interested to see because like what's going to happen with the Sox team. They're not bad. You look at the roster, you look at the stat lines, like they're great. They just can't close out wins.
Exactly.
And so
And that's coaching.
Yeah, that really is. It comes down to time management. It comes down to coaching, calling plays, calling rotations. How are we going to be able to get to the basket? And so, yeah, 100%. So it'll be interesting to see what Atlanta does here. Another coach that I think could be coaching any team as a head coach, Mo Cheeks. Like he's an assistant coach for Chicago right now. He used to coach in OKC, has an amazing tenure as a guard with the Sixers in his professional career. He's a great coach, and I feel like he could be coaching anywhere. He actually served as an interim coach in OKC and killed it throughout that time. So I think Mo Cheeks is another prime candidate for any coaching position that opens up. But we'll see what happens in Atlanta. Either way, I think stepping away from their current situation with Nate McMillan is definitely a good move.
There's one thing I think we can all agree and get behind. It's Mo Cheeks.
Everybody wants Mo Cheeks.
Everybody
wants Mo Cheeks. I
And with that said, moving on. The MLS is starting up regular season play this Saturday. The favorites to win are the current reigning champions, LAFC. They're backing at over 400, plus 400 odds. Philadelphia second, plus 600. New York, 800. Austin 900, Nashville 900, and then the Galaxy at 1,000. I think two other teams to watch out for is Miami. They made some blockbuster trades in MLS this offseason, being able to pull in Martinez from Atlanta to go play for Inter Miami. I think that's a huge move. Being able to get him, he was a star-studded player for Atlanta FC.
He's not the same caliber he used to be after that knee surgery.
He's definitely not his prime, but I mean, he's still he can still play, man. He can still play. He's a great striker. He could get to the goal. I think he's gonna do great things with Miami. And then also we've got new teams being added to MLS, including St. Louis City SC. They are playing this Saturday in their inaugural game. And so the question is hey, how are they going to fare? What's going to happen with these new expansion teams as they approach 30 teams overall? I think they're at 28 right now. The real question is what's going to happen within this. Do you think LAFC is going to lift back-to-back trophies this year, guys?
It depends. Gareth Bale's still on that team, right?
No, he just retired. He's
then probably not.
Football. And that was my big thing, man. No Gareth Bale. That's tough.
Wow. Okay. So we got 8 new clubs: Sacramento, San Francisco, Irvine, California, Mercedes, California. They added 4 California teams. That's ridiculous.
Those are not official MLS teams. Those are teams primed to come up that are potential come-up teams in the MLS.
Okay, I was gonna be like, come on, 4, and then another New York. You guys gotta spread the bounty, spread the wealth. Come on.
I really want OKC to get a team, but I don't think it's gonna happen because they're not built up enough. They have a team currently in the USFL, or I can't remember what they call it. That's not the USFL. That's football. They have a USL soccer team, the Oklahoma City Energy. I don't think they're ready. BC Lion is arguing more teams for Canada. Hey, you're right. They could totally add your Canadian team for sure.
I agree. Yeah.
I would like to see some Mexican teams be added in. I know Mexico has their own league, but I would love to see some Mexican teams become a part of MLS. I think that would be an awesome way to mix up play a little bit. But Liga MX is undoubtedly very competitive. Obviously, they produce a lot of really great players for the Mexico national team. So I'll be really interested to see kind of what happens there. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm excited. I'm ready for some soccer. As a matter of fact, I got to take these off. I just got these St. Louis FC Ultra Boost, and right there, St.
Kicking
Louis.
goals in no time with them.
Oh yeah, so I'm repping my squad for this year. I know they're a new team, but it's always fun being able to cheer for teams nearby, and so
Yeah,
I'm rocking it.
Soccer.
Yep.
Wait, so okay, now I got a question then.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're Mr. MLS, all right? I love soccer. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
don't pay attention to MLS. So, is there like an expansion draft when like a new team comes in? How does it work? Is it like the NFL or the NHL where like people can like close off certain teams and then they can go cherry pick players off the other team?
So
How does that work?
As far as I know, I don't know that they did that for St. Louis. I do know that I think they were given quite a lot of money to go recruit new players, like from other teams. In fact, St. Louis actually had a Premier League signing, like an older Premier League player that came over and signed. And so they're being able to get a lot of international players as well as local players that are looking for new teams. Obviously, the USL is a big pool of players as well. Really, what you're going to start seeing across the MLS is that the draft is not so prevalent in soccer, period, because everything comes down to academies within a club, right? That's what you see overseas. Like all of these big club names, they have academies where kids come in at 8 years old and start developing their soccer skills under a program. And then what happens is they turn into superstars or they get cut and then they go to other clubs and that's how they get developed. Basically, it's competitive, like from when you're a kid all the way up until when you're 16, 17 years old, and then hopefully playing at that big level. And so that's what St. Louis is basically doing right now is they have a very good U16 team, so under 16-year-old team, which is showing a lot of promise for their future. But again, it's not right now. So what are they going to do until they get to that point? Like, I think they're really going to have to just kind of be in the development phase for the next couple of years.
So they really tried to like adapt European soccer over there. That's cool. All right. Cool.
Yeah. And to argue, like MLS is actually getting pretty competitive in terms of salaries, to like salary cap, I should say, as a club, to some of the lower end Premier League teams. Like
that's pretty good.
LAFC is just like it's right there with some of those Premier League clubs in terms of their salary cap and like what they're able to pay players, what kind of payroll they have backing, and it's just going to continue to grow. Whenever the U.S. like hosts the World Cup, it's going to blow the roof off things, I feel like, for MLS. So, I mean, we'll see. Cross your fingers. I'm a huge soccer fan, or becoming a huge soccer fan. I know Stathead loves soccer so much.
You know, you ever part of a friend group and they're all talking about one thing and you just sit there and you go, please don't ask me any questions. MLS, that's
Dude,
like major league scooters, right? You know, they're all scooting around with their little soccer feet balls.
Yeah. Major league scooting.
Don't get a penalty. That's bad. Yellow, red card.
Dude, I want you to get hooked into soccer so bad. I really do. I think we'd like it a lot. All right, let's go ahead and kick over into our entertainment news. We're going to pile through these. They're all video game based, and then we're going to wrap up with a really fun boss battle.
We're going to have to speedball this one, but all right.
We got this.
Did someone say speedball?
No. MLS speedball.
All you Pokemon fans out there, Pokemon Day is rapidly approaching on February 27th. They announced today that there's going to be a direct next week, 20 minutes full of new game information, upcoming releases, things like that. And there's a lot of speculation right now. I don't know if you guys knew this, but basically the Nintendo Switch has added in original Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games to be playable on their console, like through an emulator. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people saying that all signs point to the original Game Boy, like Pokemon games coming to Switch on an emulator. And so that's what they're thinking is going to happen next week. But the direct is next week on Monday, the 27th. It's like 6 a.m. Pacific. So sorry, West Coast people. It's early. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, probably it makes sense if they did.
Okay. I just saw your comment, AJ. We talked backstage about things.
I
mean,
like the current one that we got going on.
I like the boss battle we have,
It's
but I
fine.
could definitely do.
It's fine.
Okay.
I'm just being.
Is this one of those conversations that Stathead was just talking about, where you have friend groups? This is great. I love it.
We're gonna watch AJ. I want to watch you struggle.
Okay,
My turn.
let's switch over to this. You're a PlayStation guy, right?
Yeah.
So on this week on the 23rd, Sony is doing a state of play or a direct as well, showing off who knows what. New games, new IP, like we don't know yet. But Sony is actually entering into the news break for this month. Nintendo's already had a direct earlier this month. Now Pokemon has one next week, and so Sony's getting in on the action to say, hey, we got some news to share too. So it'll be really interesting to see kind of what Sony's got up their sleeve for the first half of this year. Because honestly, like if I'm looking at the calendar for both Xbox and Sony, there's really not a whole lot of first party stuff that's been talked about, really. So I'm interested to see kind of. Well, that's already out, and that's third party.
Yeah.
So, and Stathead loves that game. It's his favorite.
It's his favorite. We all know. Look at
just-
that dead face.
You ever like? I don't want to be the negative Nancy, and I'll cite sources. I'll bring up receipts. I don't want to do that. Just
He's
like
cashing
what you
checks
like.
and pulling receipts.
Like,
baby.
just like what you like, and if you like that game, don't talk to me. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
Like,
I love it.
We
I
didn't
don't
even say
care.
we liked it. We just mentioned it.
Oh no, I get it. I get it. I'm just like, come on now.
got some
There's better
comments.
games out there.
Got some comments coming up here on the on the Pokemon topic here just a second ago. Ruthless Cutie saying Pokemon Crystal, maybe. I mean, we could see red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal. Like that'd be fire. I'd be down for that. BC Lion says up the West Coast. Yeah, indeed. Hopefully you're up at 6 a.m. to watch that if you're into it. Freddie Airmail says, I like it. There's still a demand for the old games, and people are going to get them one way or another. And Nintendo isn't selling them. It's true. It's true. But I'm really excited to see what Sony's got planned. The way I look at it is the majority of the time, more video game news is great, and good. New video game news is always good news. I love when there's announcements. It's like Christmas when you get to take a sneak peek at where your presents will be, but you don't get to actually open them yet. It's kind of like that, you know? Yes. And then our last entertainment news piece for the night. This one is super interesting. This actually happened earlier today. Microsoft, in anticipation of becoming owners of Activision, signed a 10-year contract agreement to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo consoles. So
Mario skin incoming.
Watch out. But no, I mean, Call of Duty, the last time it was on a Nintendo console was Black Ops 2 on the Nintendo Wii U. And I think Microsoft is really pushing to purchase Activision, and this is their way to kind of show Sony, like, hey, we're trying to play nice. We're not here to take away information at all, but like, or we're not here to like take away like rights or anything. We're actually here to try to like help people be able to play the game on multiple platforms and not have exclusivity on just PlayStation. And so them signing a 10-year contract with the intention of bringing Call of Duty to Nintendo is actually a huge step in the right direction. The question is it going to be enough for the Activision merger to happen for Xbox to be able to come in and say, hey, yeah, we're going to make Activision a part of Xbox. And there's a lot of fight against that right now. But that was a big deal. Like, if they can actually fulfill that could be huge. I don't think the Switch is capable of running Call of Duty as it stands right now, unless it's like a cloud-based game. They'd have to definitely make some adjustments for sure.
Listen, if the Wii can run Black Ops and it's still fun, the Switch can run whatever Call of Duties they're on right now. They've been calling these people to duty for like a while. They need a break. But like, if this is all about buying Activision, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought they already did.
They're
I
trying.
was pretty sure they did that years ago, and if they didn't, it's like
So they
Just
did
do it.
They
God.
stated their intentions to do it, but they have to get it cleared by all of these government agencies to basically prove it's not monopolizing.
Well, yeah, they're pulling a Disney.
Yeah.
Totally.
And Microsoft's going to do
Sony
that.
is not having it. They are not having it. So it'd be really interesting.
Nintendo's just over here like we got our own thing.
All right. Our boss battle tonight is gonna be a pretty short, pretty fun, lighthearted one. We talked a lot about sports tonight, but we got a fun little boss battle that's entertainment focused and has to deal with the Pokemon topic. Pokemon Day is a week away. Our next episode is actually going to be after that, so we're going to be kind of moved on from Pokemon for a while. But I wanted to bring this up, AJ Stathead. If there was a old school Pokemon title that you could say was your favorite, and a starter that you would pick as like your go-to starter with the game, like Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, who are you picking and why? That's really it. Easy peasy. Stathead is Bidoof. Like, it's happening.
Well,
I saw his tweet.
But Bidoof, technically speaking, not a starter. Here's the thing. You've activated my trap card. All right. This is a hyperfixation. No one wins except me when it comes to this.
Let's go.
Of all, best game, Soul Silver. Why? Because it introduced the Pokewalker. It was the first time your Pokemon actually followed you around, and that was fantastic. And it took Silver and Gold. Great games made them better. Starter, I need to know for clarification. Are these just my favorite, or are we actually trying to fight? Which is just favorite.
No, just your favorite starter.
Trico, he's the coolest one. Torchic is a hard second. Trico, he's just a cool little leaf lizard. That's dope. Torchic's number 2 because he's both combat-wise amazing and aesthetic-wise amazing. Shout out to the newer ones. I see you.
He's literally a hot chick.
I acknowledge you, Scorbiny. I love that you kick a little fire soccer ball. And I acknowledge the Gen 1 ones. The Gen 1 ones, legendary. A lot of the grass ones, mid to bad. It's usually fire and water that carries it. Trico's the best grass one. And anyone, like Bulbasaur's number 2. Everything after that, garbage. Come at me. Come at me.
That you heard it here, folks. First, if you are angry with the conversations coming from KS from Kyle, you can tweet at him at KS from Kyle.
I will crap on all of your favorite grass starters except Trico, Bulbasaur, Turtwig's okay. Rowlet and Grookey, like everyone else, the fire and water starters are just better. They gotta step it up. Chikorita, terrible. Snivy, pretentious. Chespin, who? That's the Gen 6 one. No one remembers Chespin.
AJ, your turn. I'm curious to know what I know you're not a huge Pokemon fan, but everyone like
Pikachu or Eevee, you're dead to me.
No. I mean, I think Pikachu and Eevee's a great pick, to be honest. But
okay, so the best one is the original Red and Blue. Why? Because it started a generational game that people have loved since God knows how long. Oh, it's like 1996. That's how long they've loved him. We all know, actually.
20-something years now.
Yeah. So it's been a while. But without those games, you wouldn't have Pokemon where it is today. Now, as far as what Kyle said, he spoke a lot of blasphemy. All right. Chespin is one of the best Pokemon starters in a while. Rowlet, are you kidding me? The kid has an emo phase and then becomes Legolas.
It's true.
Okay. If the man didn't have an emo phase, sure, you can get away with it. But he has a legitimate teenage emo phase as his middle evolution. You are wrong, sir. Trico's cool. Yeah. But like after first round Trico with his little like twig in his mouth and he's a badass cool guy, every other evolution is just Trico with a new tail. So you're wrong. Now, finally, the best starter of all time is Squirtle. I say that because the man is the only man with his own hype squad. He has a Squirtle squad. And not only that, he has his own pair of sunglasses that are so cool.
Two different sunglasses.
Exactly. He has his own separate pair of pointy ones while his crew has circle ones. They're so badass. They're firefighters. And it gets used as an icon for a very what was it? Well-known esports gamer, like Squirt, I think his name is. Yeah.
Listen,
So-
I won't argue Squirtle. All right, Squirtle, solid pick. I'm not even gonna lie. That's a
So you're
good
saying
one.
he's right.
I'm not saying he's right.
He is saying I'm right at the end of the day.
Listen, you want to talk about edgy phases? You don't even know about Sobble. And it goes back to say that all the grass ones are bad. The
I'm
water
gonna
and fire ones
say-
have been saying it. Look up Sobble right now, and I promise you'll like him.
Can I just say
First of all,
that
I love Sobble, but
That's what I thought.
no, you're wrong.
I'm
Because
wrong that you'll love Sobble. You just said it.
he was the worst one out of the three.
Oh yeah,
Sobble's pretty
100%.
bad.
I meant aesthetic wise.
aesthetic wise,
He's just depressed.
Quaxley had the potential in the new
He did.
in the new game to be
Yeah.
the best starter.
I was
looked
about to
dope.
pick him.
He had this suave hair, and
Yeah,
he just like did
everything.
like the flip thing, and he's a duck. Who doesn't love a duck?
I wanted him to end up looking like either Launchpad McQuack or Scrooge McDuck.
Right. I was like, dude, give me like some really dope duck. No, they gave him like this like
He's a merengue
dancing
duck.
circus duck.
He's
And
a
I'm like,
merengue duck.
I mean, I
He
don't
dances
hate
the merengue.
I
He's
hate
pretty
it.
good.
I hate it.
The weed cat is my favorite.
Weed Cat.
Weed Cat.
I'm in on Weed Cat. I don't care what they evolve into. I'm in on Weed Cat.
You know why I'm in on Weed Cat? His
I can
final
only-
evolution. His final evolution. He's a magician.
That's pretty
That's
good.
great.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
man.
good.
It's good. I've got to go with my favorite starter, hands down,
Pikachu.
is
No
Eevee.
denial.
Honestly, Eevee.
There it is. Yeah.
The reason why I'm picking Eevee is because Eevee can literally be whatever you want him or her to be. You've got all the evolutions you get to pick. The only thing is that Eevee needs a freaking flying evolution, please, for the love of God, or a dragon evolution, or a ghost. Like that would be hella dope. But if I had to pick a real starter, not an Eevee, right? Because Eevee is like kind of like a secondary starter and only was in one game. I gotta go Mudkip. Mudkip's pretty dope, man. Groundwater plays aggressively. Swampert, his final evolution is like totally BA. When I played Ruby and Sapphire, like that was like prime. Like I was like, dude, Mudkip is so dope. And
Gen 3
like
starters were built different. That's just
Dude.
a fact.
they were really cool, man. That was a really great set of starters. I don't feel like they've done it any justice since then. Some hopefully in the future, they will. Freddie Earmail, sorry, throwing me off. I heard you like Mudkips, but the way he spelled it was just
Oh yeah, we're
amazing.
bringing back the old memes, the ancient ways.
Yeah, the Mudkips.
the Mudkips, the Chesburgers.
Yeah, dude. So that's my pick. Favorite game though, dude. Like as a kid, Yellow was like amazing not because I started with Pikachu. It's because you got every starter. You got Charmander, you got Squirtle, you got Bulbasaur all in that game. And it was the first one where your starter Pokemon would actually follow you around in the game. Like that was sick back then. You're like, whoa, like so now I've got a kid, he's 7 years old. He's super into Pokemon. And so like getting to like introduce all of that to him, like I literally pulled out a Game Boy the other day and said, son, play this. And he goes, what am I looking at? And like, that's been a cool experience. So, shout out to Pokemon for hitting us all in the nostalgic feels and, being intergenerational, as AJ said.
Now, question though, I gotta ask you, as the only father on this podcast currently,
Mhm.
when your son comes up to you and is like, "Dad, I want to poke battle you," do you go easy on him, or do you just
No.
lay down the law and
Don't
destroy
do it.
him and make him cry?
Dude, I teach him the ways, and that means
Yeah.
he's going to get his butt kicked a long time. And
You
then
gotta,
when he beats me, I'm going to cry tears of joy because I know that he did it because he learned. He's like became the apprentice became the master. Like
just
that.
wait till he gets into EV IV training. That's when your kid's legit.
DC Lion up the dads. That's right, up the dads. That's right.
Listen,
Hey,
Gen 5 starters, mid. All of them. Every single
Yeah.
one. Mid.
Yeah,
what-
I've got to
what
say
gen is
though.
that?
That's Snivy, Tepig, and Oshawott. That was, I think, X and Y.
Yeah, that one's bad.
So-
That one was
No,
not
X and
good.
Y is the X and Y was different. X and Y was
It was the first one that they did in 3D, and I appreciate it for that.
yeah.
We're gonna throw a poll up here. So we'll have that pop up here in just a second. Who do you guys agree with more? Is it myself, Stathead, or AJ?
It's me.
For your favorite
It's
Pokemon
me.
starter, which one are you picking? I guess Stathead. What was your starter again? For the
Trico,
poll?
because Trico is the best.
So it's Trico. It's for me it was
You said
Mudkip,
Mudkip.
and then for you it was Squirtle. It's Trico, Mudkip, and
Squirtle.
Squirtle.
Listen, Squirtle is a respectable choice as someone that loved the Squirtle Squad. I get it.
Squirtle Squad was legit, bro.
Squirtle Squad was legit. Listen, they threw a whole party. Shout out to the best Pokemon game that isn't a main series game, Pokemon Channel. What do? You just watch TV with Pikachu. That's the whole game. Sometimes you answer trivia questions about Pokemon from the Pokemon themselves. A Butterfree will ask you what a Butterfree is, and it's really funny.
Yeah, dude. I've got to say, like, man, it's been like just really cool to get to watch him play it. But I will say, like, he watches the new Pokemon stuff and he just doesn't get it. Like, he's like, oh, this is so cool. I'm like, bro, you don't even know.
You don't even know.
You don't even know.
Like, I need you to like track your kids' decisions from gen to gen. I just want to know. Like,
Yeah.
Gen 1, you can't lose with Gen 1 stuff.
So
every single one's a banger.
True. I will say my son really likes Charizard and Charmander.
Well,
And
yeah.
that's like his favorite probably. Poll is not going to come up for some reason. We're having issues with it, or I'm having issues with it getting launched, so don't worry about it. But I've seen kind of mixed reviews. We're going off of questions here, or going off the chat here. We've got AJ with 1 vote. We got me with 1 vote. AJ with another vote, so that's 2 votes. AJ.
I win.
Everyone's wrong.
I think right now AJ is winning. Technical difficulty strike again. Well, you know what else would this show be without them? And it's not even all our fault.
Also, Gen 7 starters, Rowlet carried Gen 7. I won't even lie to you. Litten was bad. Poplio could have been better.
Was horrible.
Rowlet was like legitimately the best one. I know I dunked.
I love the emo phase. That was so great.
You made a good defense for Rowlet. Still, those string of starters were not the best.
We'll close this topic with this. I don't know if you heard about like why all of the Game Boy news, like, or the Pokemon possibly coming to Switch with the OG Game Boy games is such a big deal.
Because then you could keep your team from Generation 1
all the way up. Yeah, because
up to
they're saying that
Violet.
it's going to have Pokemon Home compatibility if it happens, but also they're re-releasing Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 for the N64 on the N64 emulator. It's already been announced. And obviously, if you've ever played those, you cannot battle the Elite Four or the gym battles without having your own built team, like from the actual games. And remember, like, you had your N64 and you had your transfer pack that like went into it. And you had to put the cartridge into that back in the day. So they're saying they're gonna find some way to do that.
Well, they have red, blue, and yellow out. We just need silver to like heart red or fire red or whatever. And then if you get that, you can literally keep your team from beginning to end. And if they do that, mark my words, I'm gonna open up the venue again and I'm gonna Twitch every single from red all the way to violet, and I'm gonna play them all and bring my team every single time.
That'd be hella dope. That'd be awesome. BC Line, shout out to you, man. Thanks for coming on the show tonight. Off to dinner. I hope you have a good one. Philly says, bring Johnny Football back. He ain't going anywhere. He's still here right now. That's the word. So, anyway, that concludes our show tonight. Kind of crazy list of topics. Talked about a little bit of everything, except the Daytona 500. Sorry, Peanut. But guys, thank you again for tuning into the Info Arcade, where each and every Tuesday night at 6 Central, 4 Pacific, you guys have the privilege to tune in to listen to us jokers talk about sports and entertainment. And it's such a privilege and honor to get to talk about those things with all of you listeners all around the world. You can tune in live, interact with us in the chat each and every week, like BC Lion, Philly Fig, Peanut, and many more. You can also listen on podcast services all around the globe, but make sure you tune into our other shows throughout the week, including Don't Cause a Ruckus on Wednesday nights at 8 Central, 6 Pacific. You can also watch the Fan Controlled Show on Thursdays and listen to the incredible and informative podcast, the Freddy Stat Go podcast, featuring the one and only Kyle Realmstead had. And of course, Freddie.
Kyle
Earnhardt.
Realmstead.
KS Realm.
Kyle KS Realmstead had. Your name is so long. It's crazy. It's awesome.
You know, there's a lot of words. I use them all.
Jason Wright, thank you. No, thank you for hopping on the show. Guys, we hope you have a great night. Enjoy your week. It's been a privilege serving you. And until next time, remember this, power to the fans. See you next time.
This is
The superstars of Fan Control Football Season 2.0 are not only the who's who of celebrity team owners and influencers, not the 21 million live views of our Emmy-nominated broadcast. Across Twitch, DAZN, Fubo, NBCLX, Peacock. Or our highlights that scored over 100 million views. And we can't forget best-in-class sponsors. But the biggest star of Season 2 is our play calling app that allow fans to control the action on the field. Fans pick a team, pick a play, 4 run plays, 4 pass plays to choose from. The play with the most votes is called in real time.
we got it.
This is where video games and live action come to life. And now, Fan Control Sports and Entertainment brings you Fan Controlled Hoops, where fans call the shots. Coming 2023, the future of sports is here, and it's fan control. Power to the fans.